Hello everyone and welcome to Sinful Gaming. I hope you're all doing well, I hope you're all staying safe, and most of all, I hope you're all fighting that war against the Grey. And so, last night we got the Games Workshop preview and we finally got shown the Soulblight Gravelords Battle Tome, along with some miniatures as well, some very hotly anticipated and predicted, and well, it was great. I a massive fan of everything we saw from Soulblight Gravelords. I think every model just looks amazing, and in particular this battle tome cover that I've got up here pictured now is absolutely amazing. Almost, I would say, the best battle tome cover in Age of Sigmar. It's right up there for me. But anyway, today's video, what I want to chat about is, well, Soulblight Gravelords. Let's talk about everything we saw, and let's talk about maybe what we might see in the future and how we think the army's going to function going forward, what it's going to mean for certain things. So let's get cracking into the discussion, and we're going to start with all the brand new stuff. And so let's start off, I guess, with the thing that everyone wanted to see, and that is the new Blood Knights kit. Now, for me, this kit just hits absolutely out the park there. Everything I wanted in a new Blood Knights kit. For those who don't know, the current Blood Knight kits that we have, which I believe now in most parts of the world is just completely gone, we won't be seeing it anymore, is an old Finecast kit that costs, I think in Australia, I think it's like $165 Australian. I don't know what that is around the rest of the world. Either way, it's ridiculously expensive to buy those Blood Knights, and they're a single monopose kit. What this means now is we've now got this fantastic kit that is able to be changed up. The heads look like they're easily interchangeable. It looks like we can easily put the banner on either one of the two female torsos or the male torso. We got a cool character or unit champion in the unit as well that I'm sure can be made in a non-unit champion manner. That was another big problem with the current Blood Knights kit, is if you bought another 5 you had 2 unit champions, which made it really difficult to grab units of 10s. For me, this is just amazing. Like, this is the kit I wanted to see for this army more than anything. I think the whole of the internet was crying out for this kit to be updated. Give us a plastic version. I mean, you've seen people use Chaos Knights. Like, when people are converting Vanguard into Blood Knights are expensive and not that great if people are spending the money on Vanguard instead. For me, though, as mentioned, like, this just hits it out of the park. You've got 2 female torsos, maybe only one. I think the one at the back right there is also a female torso, which is cool. I like to see female vampire knights. Really drives home that sort of aesthetic, especially if you're playing like an army with Neferata, where she has all those courtesses who work for her and stuff, so that's cool. But the unit in general just looks awesome. I know some people aren't particularly fond of the skull heads, but for me that's Warhammer Undead Cavalry. That's how nightmares have always looked, so I'm okay with that. But I'd be really interested to see what they do. Like, hopefully the price does come down on the kit. It should come down, which is going to be a weird thing to get a new kit that's actually cheaper than the old kit. It's not something that happens a lot. And I wonder what they're going to do in game. Like, I hope they stay very similar to what they are. They do quite a bit of damage. Maybe you can buff them in certain ways, but I think Blood Knights are pretty cool how they are. I want them to be this very expensive unit of 300-ish points that really hit like an absolute hammer in the game. That's what I want from Blood Knights. And, well, yeah, they look amazing. For me, I think this was the biggest surprise of the whole reveal, is that we're getting new Fellbats. I know we've seen the Bat Swarms that came out in the Warhammer Quest Cursed City box set, but Fellbats was definitely not something I was expecting to see at all. And, well, the new models look amazing. This is something that's really great, that they're keeping the whole bat-themed aesthetic to their vampires in Warhammer Age of Sigmar that they had in Warhammer Fantasy, and I'm really happy to see brand new Fellbats. Like, they look great. These models are awesome. I really hope they have a better use. I mean, I remember in Fantasy when they had the big like fly move, they were pinning stuff and getting war machines at the back of the table, and I hope maybe they can do a similar role, because generally, I guess, Undead, especially Legion and Nagash, or what it's going to be now in Soulblight Gravelords, have been pretty slow in general. So hopefully this unit here will give them a nice little thing that can go around hunting like backfield characters and war machines and small little chaff units holding objectives in the backfield. This would be really cool if they've got some decent offensive ability as well. Be really excited to see what they do though with these Felbats and how they get to work on the tabletop. Be also excited, I guess, on a little tangent to see whether we do get those Bat Swarms as an actual kit. Maybe we will get the Cursed City Bat Swarms in a later production, maybe as like an easy to build kit as well for the range. That's just sort of like offhanded thought, I guess, about bats in the army. I love the fact we're going to have bats in a vampire army. Awesome. And so, as expected as well, we did see some new Death Rattle Skeletons and Deadwalker Zombies for the army. And I think this pretty much now confirmed exactly how our army is going to work. It really is just going to be Legion of the Gash 2.0, which is fine. Like, Soulblight Gravelords replacing Legion of the Gash is awesome. It's really going to put the vampires at the forefront. And I like the fact that we can play with the teaming hordes of undead, very similar to vampire counts in Warhammer Fantasy. Now, what's cool about this though, and I guess that little bit I just said, is they mentioned that you can either play as these sort of vampires leading their hordes of undead, or you can play as pure vampires, which is awesome. Now, there's a few things to note. I really like, as some others have mentioned, that we've not got the gravestone aesthetic on all the zombies. There's some really fantastic, cool looking minis, especially the dude with the axe in his head on the left hand side of those zombies. Big fan. I like the gravestone as a few models here and there, but I don't like on everything. Roots, I'm unsure on whether I like them. I think maybe, I don't know. Like, I'm unsure on if I like the roots in the zombies or not. However, the skeletons, 10 out of 10. And I'm really surprised, in all honesty, that they are upgrading the skeleton kit, because that does leave me thinking, well, what other newer kits might they update? If they're updating skeletons, are they going to update other things? Now, the other thing that skeletons show is, obviously we've only got 5 in the picture here. They did tell us that they are able to be built with either all spears or all swords, hand weapons, etc. So you've got the 2 options in the kit. Now, they look a lot closer up, and there's nothing really to put scale to. So the interesting question for people is, are they on 25mm bases? Because that means a lot. I mean, it could mean that you're having to rebase a whole bunch of minis or go buy new ones if you don't want to rebase. So if they are on 28mm, that'll be interesting. Also, like, 28mm is an entirely different discussion as well, because the difference is that you're attacking in a lot less ranks if you've got 28mm bases rather than 25s. It really does change the game, and it could make this part in the game where there's a time period where 25mm base models are better, just because they're on 25mm bases for no other reason than that alone. So it'll be interesting. But the zombies, to me, do look like they are on 25s, which would lead me to believe that the skeletons probably are too. They're a little bit more wider stance, so maybe they are on 28s. I don't really know. They don't seem to have the spacing, the feet like the zombies. The zombies don't quite take up their whole bases, even the more spreaded foot models. And so there's definitely some discussion, and it'll be interesting to see some pictures with the skeletons next to other models to really see if they are 25 or 28mm bases. But both these are awesome. Skeletons leave a lot of questions, I think, more than anything. The zombies are the zombies. I'll be interested to see hopefully a 20-man box to be somewhat cost effective to actually be able to fill the big hordes of zombies you're going to want to do. But the skeletons, are they going to be 10-man, 20-man boxes? And, well, what base size are they is the real big question there. And so I've brought back up this picture of the Battletome cover because this leaves me with a couple of questions. Now, there are 2 big things on here that have us looking at some new, maybe potential models. And I'm, of course, talking about on the top left, you've got that big zombie dragon with the vampire lord on the back. And down near our vampire lord in the front and center of the picture, you've got a direwolf. Both of these look like very updated models. Now, the question is with that, are we going to see new models for those kits? The direwolves definitely could use with an update, and if they've got the same sort of aesthetic that this direwolf here has, like, that's awesome. I'd really, really love to see those models. The other one is where I guess the discussion really is. are we going to see a new zombie dragon kit? Because we've got a few things to think about. One, it's not that older kit, and two, it also contains the Terrorgeist for the Flesh Eater Courts. So you would need to be, I guess, updating both variants of the model, or just updating the Vampire Lord and leaving that as just the normal Terrorgeist kit. And I don't know what you do there, really. Now, this could all just be, you know, maybe artist interpretation and everything there, but let's like to, I guess, create some chatter. And, well, what do people think of the current Zombie Dragon kit? For me, it looks okay. I much prefer the Terrorgeist out of that box set. Out of the two models, the Zombie Dragon is okay at best, I think. It doesn't look as good as the Terrorgeist, and maybe that's a bit of a conundrum thanks to how the kit has to be both models at once, which are very different poses. So maybe that's why I don't really like the Zombie Dragon. But be interested to see if we get like this more actual zombified rather than the skeletal dragon that we have in the current kit. That would be a really cool thing to get. Now, with that discussion, are there other kits or models that people would like to see updated from Soulblight Gravelords? And I guess, does that mean we're going to see more? Have we seen this entire release now? Obviously, I've not shown the Vampire Lord that we got. You've got the piece of artwork here that depicts that same model. But do you reckon we'll see other kits updated? Do you reckon we'll see anything retired as well? What do you reckon? So, let's talk about characters, and obviously we've seen this amazing looking model, Kritza, the Rat Prince. Now, he is a Vampire Lord that sort of survived in Ulfenkarn when all the bad things happened by like hiding amongst rats, and he sort of fed on rats to appease his appetite. Now, he's a named character, which is awesome. I'm all for them bringing more named characters into Warhammer Age of Sigmar. It gives us a focus in an army. It's really cool, and I hope we get to see more and more lore on this character. Now, the interesting thing with this, I guess, is it mentions alongside Kritza that he's not the only Vampire Lord that's got a part to play in the Soulblight Gravelords. And so that leads me to think that we're going to get other major Soulblight players. Now, the interesting part of this as well is, what is Nagash's whole play in this? If we are indeed replacing Legion and Nagash with Soulblight Gravelords, does that mean Nagash is getting removed from the battle tome and maybe he's not a part of the Soulblight Gravelords while he was previously part of Legion and Nagash? Or maybe are we taking Nagash and are we removing him from all the death books and having him as like this overarching thing that can go into any of them? Be really interesting. But with him, Kritza here taking his part, I guess, in the story, will we see others like Manfred and Neferata? Now, Manfred has recently started appearing in a couple of the Broken Realms short stories. And his last one, where he's sort of almost trying to summon a demon to do some of his bidding. And we all know that Manfred will go to any lengths to try and take power. I mean, and if he can't get it, he will literally blow up worlds. You know, anyone who doesn't know the story of how the old world ended, Manfred might have had a hand to play in it. Anyway, I'd be really interested to see where we draw the story with these two, because both Manfred and Neferata are two characters that really don't like being under the, I guess, sway of Nagash. They don't like being enthralled by him like they are. They don't like being subservient. Like all vampires, they like to be their own masters, and they don't really like that Nagash is there. So their stories are really, really interesting, and I'd be really interested to see where we go with these two characters in particular in Soulblight Gravelords. What do we have to play, and maybe where do they appear in Broken Realms proper? Because obviously we got shown the other Broken Realms book coming after Bellicor. We got a little teaser. Will they appear in that? Will they appear in a later story? It appears that maybe Manfred is going against Alariel, maybe, with some of the stuff we've been reading and we've been shown off. So who knows exactly what is happening there. Now, Neferata, on the other hand, has been a lot more quiet. She generally is a lot more scheming. The last sort of major plot point we had for Neferata was obviously New Lamia being destroyed, and she also has agents in the 8 Lamentations series as well. So we don't really know too much about what Neferata's been up to, while Manfred's been becoming a little bit more active in the story in general. Be really interested, though, to see where we go with these characters. And so, I guess my final thoughts are I'm really excited to see Soulblight Gravelords come out. I really like the direction they're taking. I'm happy that it's both going to be, I guess, the old Sylvanian style army, but we're also going to get access, as I mentioned, to full vampire armies in there in a proper allegiance, not like the sort of side allegiance that Soulblight was in Legion of Nagash. We're going to get some rules and all that sort of stuff for everything, and being able to play in multiple different ways. I mean, even zombies are looking viable when you check out Gorslav, I believe the name of the dude with the shovel, the Gravekeeper in Warhammer Quest Curse City. He sort of buffs zombies around him. So really exciting times to be a death player if you're interested in all of this stuff. I'd love to know all your thoughts on Soulblight Gravelords. What do you think of them? Let us know in the comments below. Well, thank you all for watching the video. Please don't forget to leave a comment with your thoughts down below, and also leave a like and subscribe to the channel. All that helps everyone find the channel that little bit easier. If you'd like to come chat more with me and other members of our little community, you can do so by following the link in the description of the video to our Discord server. And also, while you're at it, go check out my featured channels on YouTube, which contain a bunch of other fantastic Warhammer Age of Sigmar focused channels that do everything from battle reports, painting videos, tactical videos, and more besides. Lastly though, we'd like to give a shout out to everyone who helps support the channel via YouTube members or Patreon. Thank you to James, AJC, JC, Christian Weir, Philip Ward, Soren, Kenny Lyle, Outer and Shot First, Cowspawn, James Crowder, Andrew Jarvis, and Andrew Bowen. Thank you all so much for supporting the channel, and if you'd like to help support the channel like they do, you can do so by following one of the links to either our YouTube members or Patreon in the description of the video below. Thank you all for watching. Once again though, stay safe everyone, stay well, and most of all, keep fighting that war against the grey. Ciao for now.